Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Miami at Exchange, an ETF experience where we're meeting with the top thought leaders and innovators in the ETF space. Joining us for this segment, we have Dave LaValle, Global Head of ETFs over at Grayscale. We're going to talk about the probability of a Bitcoin spot ETF and, of course, Grayscale's growing ETF business. Dave, it's great to see you in person again.
Thanks so
Welcome
much.
to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about the Grayscale Future Finance ETF, GFOF. What does this fund seek to do?
Yeah, so when we launched GFOF, we had a ton of conviction about defining a new theme in the marketplace. So historically, there have been Bitcoin replication products, or there have been blockchain thematic products. This was defining the digital economy, which is a cross-section of technology and finance. And this is about ensuring that investors can participate in the digital economy. It's new, it's a new theme, it's super exciting, and the response has been really positive.
How are you pioneering new ways of building the ETF offerings, because you don't have some of the traditional constraints that other issuers might have? Right,
it's great. There's a couple of areas. Product would be the first area, and distribution would be the second. So on the product side, we have a clean slate, and I like to say a blank whiteboard where we can really innovate on exposures, and then we can innovate on construction of products. So new index themes, new index weightings. And on the distribution side, we're not constrained by having hundreds and hundreds of wholesalers selling lots of different products. So we're able to really take advantage of our ability to tell a story, engage with our clients digitally, and look, Gbtc, our flagship fund, has 865,000 investors, so we have an audience and we're telling our story there.
And I want to talk about Gbtc because, of course, that's been proxy for the industry to trade
of course.
Bitcoin. Do you think a Bitcoin spot ETF is coming? Would Gbtc be converted to an ETF?
Yeah, so we absolutely think that this is going to be converted eventually. If you had asked me this question 3, 5, 6 years ago, or one of my days in Nasdaq when I was first having this conversation, it was really a question of if. Now it's a question of when. And the SEC, look, they have a tough job. It's hard being a regulator. They need to make sure that they're protecting investors. We're having a very strong engagement with our regulators. The SEC and Grayscale have been talking for years on this topic, and we do absolutely believe that Gbtc will be converted into an ETF. And frankly, we're having a comment campaign right now. We have over 3,000 comments where people are saying, we want a Bitcoin ETF.
Right. Well, what's the advantages to investors if you were to convert Gbtc to an ETF?
It's funny. The truth is, this is exactly the same story that we've been telling about ETF innovation since SPY came to market. We think about market cap weighted S&P 500 exposure as something that's pretty plain vanilla. It was super innovative in 1993 to bring this to every investor. That was an institutional style investment strategy, market cap weighting. And so we've seen over the past 25 years, whether it's exposure to other asset classes, or fixed income, or commodities, or currency hedges, or different index strategies that are institutional, available only to a small subset of the marketplace. Now you bring them into an ETF and everybody can invest in them. Now, in the conversation about Gbtc's conversion, we're not just talking about the ETF, being something that was questioned by the SEC and the exposure. The SEC is really comfortable with the ETF. It's a battle-tested wrapper that has been proven to bring investors a high degree of confidence when, using them as building blocks in their portfolio. Once we get comfortable with the SEC in terms of them having comfort with the underlying asset Bitcoin, we'll put that into an ETF, and the broadest range of investors will be able to utilize it.
I mean, that'll be a game changer, not only for the crypto space, but for the ETF industry in general. I mean, that's really the launch pad for innovation there.
Absolutely.
All right, Dave, great to catch up with you as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.